Welcome back to Wrestling Flash. In this WWE and all things wrestling video we are going to look at Seth Rollins to win the WWE Championship at Madison Square Garden, WWE icon not interested in facing Brock Lesnar, Paul Heyman fires shots at former WWE superstar's new company, WWE star reveals the miserable WWE Backstage, and more. First we are going to look at huge update regarding WWE's plans for Bayley for WrestleMania 38. WWE superstars Bayley and Asuka have been away from in-ring action for a while now due to their respective injuries. Asuka injured her shoulder during the Money in the Bank event back in July 2021. Meanwhile, the role model suffered an ACL injury during her training at the Performance Center during the same month. As per reports from PW Insider, the two stars' returns have already been confirmed. The Empress of Tomorrow is currently waiting on the sidelines for WWE to bring her back and put her in a proper storyline. On the other hand, WWE doesn't plan on booking the role model in a match at WrestleMania 38. However, she is expected to make her return following the show of shows. A week ago, the former SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley took to Twitter to hint at facing Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania 38. The role model asked Ripley if she was ready for a new opponent. "You ready for a new opponent yet or what?" wrote the former SmackDown Women's Champion. Later on, the Nightmare replied to the role model, hinting that she was ready for a match with her. Ripley asked the former if she would like to be her new punching bag. "You volunteering to be my new punching bag?" wrote Ripley. The clash of words between the two superstars generated chatter amongst the WWE universe on social media. However, WWE doesn't seem to have any plans to book a match between the two for the show of shows. Ripley recently participated in the Women's Elimination Chamber match alongside Alexa Bliss, Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, and Doudrop. However, things didn't turn out the way she was hoping for, as Belair sealed her ticket to WrestleMania 38. The EST will challenge Becky Lynch for the WWE Raw Women's Championship. Would you like to see Bayley or Asuka in action at WrestleMania? Give your thoughts in the comments below. Paul Heyman fires shots at former WWE superstar's new company. Paul Heyman says Roman Reigns already owns the metaverse. Former WWE superstar Braun Strowman recently stated that he hoped his new Control Your Narrative promotion that he founded with EC3 would be the first wrestling company to enter the metaverse. Heyman evidently wishes to dispute these claims, taking to social media to state that the metaverse of professional wrestling belongs to the tribal chief Roman Reigns, tweeting out, "The entire at WWE universe belongs to your hashtag tribal chief at WWEs." This Friday hashtag SmackDown Live from hashtag Miami this said Brock loses hashtag WWE title in at the Garden. Paul Heyman tweeted, "While Heyman is confident that the head of the table has a firm grasp on the metaverse, attention will turn to this Saturday's event at Madison Square Garden, where Brock Lesnar is scheduled to defend the WWE Championship prior to WrestleMania 38. It was initially announced that Bobby Lashley would receive his rematch against Brock Lesnar for the title, but due to Lashley's shoulder injury that he sustained at the Royal Rumble Premium Live event suggests that isn't going to happen. Whoever WWE has lined up to face Lesnar on Saturday, Heyman is quite confident that they will defeat the Beast incarnate for the WWE Championship in the world's most famous arena. If this occurs, the match between Lesnar and Reigns will still take place, but it would no longer be a unification match and instead will just be for the WWE Universal Championship. If Lesnar retains his title on Saturday night, it appears there will be no other roadblock stopping the unification title match from taking place at WrestleMania 38. What do you make of Heyman's comments? Do you think this tweet was a shot at the former monster among men? Let us know your thoughts by sounding off in the comments section below. Nia Jax reveals the miserable backstage condition in WWE. Nia Jax was released from WWE on November 4th last year as part of the company's budget cuts. The former superstar has made it clear in recent months that she wouldn't be open to a return. Jax is a former Raw Women's Champion who was even pushed to the top of the women's division. It appears that her opinion on a return hasn't changed in recent weeks. As part of a recent exchange with a fan on Twitter, Jax revealed that she wouldn't be open to returning because she gets regular updates about how miserable the superstars on the roster currently are. The fan in question asked Jax about potentially returning to win the Women's Tag Team Championships with Doudrop. The Scottish star has become a formidable force in the women's division since Jax's departure. Despite coming from a wrestling family, Jax has made it clear that her wrestling career has come to an end. Following her WWE release, Jax changed all of her social media accounts back to her real name and has noted that she has been taking some time to do work on her farm. The former women's champion was released whilst in the middle of a break which she had requested. After several long months on the road, Jax wanted to take some time away to rest up and recover mentally, something that she looked to extend ahead of her release. Jax released a statement on Instagram shortly after her release where she revealed that the company wanted her to make return, but she was looking to extend her leave. She was released instead. What are your thoughts on Jax's comments? Give your thoughts in the comments below. WWE icon has no interest in facing Brock Lesnar. Hulk Hogan believes he would end up in a wheelchair if he returned to the ring to wrestle Brock Lesnar in 2022. Hogan lost a 10-minute match against the up-and-coming Lesnar on the August 8, 2002 episode of SmackDown. Now age 68, the Hulkster has officially retired from wrestling after undergoing 23 surgeries over the last 10 years. The WWE legend was asked on the Two-Man Power Trip of Wrestling podcast if he would like to have faced any current wrestlers. He immediately responded with Roman Reigns' name before joking that a match against Lesnar would be bad for his health. The first one I would try to pick off would be Roman. I'd like to get to Brock, but good God, I'd be in a wheelchair by the time I get done with that. I don't need no rematch with Brock. I'm good, man, said Hogan. WWE Champion Brock Lesnar and Universal Champion Roman Reigns are WWE's top two male superstars right now. They are set to face each other in a winner-take-all title unification match at WrestleMania Sunday on April 3rd. In 2002, Hulk Hogan met Lesnar for the first time in an Undisputed Championship #1 Contenders match. Lesnar, nicknamed the next big thing at the time, made his legendary opponent pass out to a bear hug. He then defeated The Rock at SummerSlam 2002 to cement his status as WWE's next top main eventer. A year later, Hogan performed as Mr. America when he teamed up with Lesnar and Kurt Angle in a 6-man tag team match. The trio lost against The Big Show, Charlie Haas, and Shelton Benjamin on the June 26, 2003 episode of SmackDown. Surprising WWE Championship match being promoted following WrestleMania 38. A triple threat match for the WWE Championship is reportedly being advertised for post-WrestleMania live events. According to Wrestling Inc., Seth Rollins vs. Bobby Lashley vs. AJ Styles for the coveted title is being promoted for a live event on Saturday, April 30th at the RP Funding Center in Lakeland, Florida. This is interesting considering that Roman Reigns is scheduled to face Brock Lesnar in the main event of WrestleMania Sunday for the WWE and Universal Championship in a winner-take-all unification. The Beast Incarnate is also set to defend the WWE title on Saturday, March 5th at Madison Square Garden against an unconfirmed opponent. The two biggest prizes in the industry will be unified at WrestleMania 38, and either Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar will walk out of Dallas, Texas as the undisputed champion. However, according to Dave Meltzer, there won't be a single world champion after the show of shows. Meltzer reported that WWE will still have two world champs moving forward, even after the WWE and Universal Championships are unified at WrestleMania 38. The deal here is that it is a unification match, and from what I am told, it's the same idea as the last time they unified the titles. Remember, like 20 years ago, 18 years ago when they did, and then like a week later they just handed a belt to Triple H. I was told that it is not feasible in the modern environment to not have each brand, given the two networks, have a champion. So this will be a unification match, and then they will not forget about it. But there will be two champions, said Meltzer. Roman Reigns is the favorite to win the highly anticipated bout, as he's currently the face of the company and has been on a dominant run for over a year now. What are your thoughts on these reports? Who will walk out of the grandest stage of them all as champion? Give your thoughts in the comments below. Seth freaking Rollins to defeat Brock Lesnar and become WWE champion at Madison Square Garden. On March 5th at a live event, Brock Lesnar is scheduled to defend his WWE championship against a mystery opponent. In what could be an almighty shock on the road to WrestleMania, Seth freaking Rollins could step up. Technically still owed a world title match following his DQ victory over Universal Champion Roman Reigns at Royal Rumble, and dethrone the Beast Incarnate. Rollins is listed to appear at the event, with no match scheduled. He could force a triple threat match, or even still, force two separate championship matches in Dallas. It could ultimately be a repeat of WrestleMania 31. That night, the Architect cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase to disrupt Reigns vs. Lesnar and pull off the heist of the century to win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. He may spoil the party all over again.